Hey, I just wanted to share a little bit of my story for anybody out there who's feeling pressure or worry, just trying to figure out who they're going to invite to the hospital or to the delivery room, who they're going to, share their child with at the very beginning after they arrive. I have a lot of cousins, and I was very privileged growing up to be able to meet quite a few of them right after they were born because of a family tradition where when an aunt went into labor, the family was notified. People would start driving to the hospital. We'd hang out in the waiting room, then we'd get to go in. And while that was a really cool experience as a child, getting to hold some of my cousins when they were super, super brand new, as an adult, I had a totally different perspective when I was expecting my own baby. So I had hoped to have a home birth, and that didn't work out. I had some complications, so I had to go to the hospital. And when my son arrived afterwards, I started hemorrhaging, so I ended up having to stay in the hospital for 3 days. My husband and I knew just we wanted our space to figure out what we were doing while I was in labor, and especially for me, mentally, I just knew I did not want people hanging out in the waiting room, waiting at the house. It just felt like this weird pressure. If somebody's waiting for me to pop out a baby, I need my own time and not to be rushed. That was my mental headspace. For some people, they find people being in the waiting room or on standby really encouraging. It's their cheer squad. And if that's you, that's awesome. Then run with that. And if you just know, like mentally, I need my space, I don't even want to know that other people are waiting for me to finish this, you don't have to notify anybody. So I want you to know that. Next thing, when we told people that my son had arrived, I had my son in the evening and had my medical emergency in the evening. I needed sleep. I needed food. I needed water. I needed to process, okay, so that happened, and I had some intense meds that had to flush out of my system. It wasn't until the next day that I took a picture and I texted the information to my family. I was not up for phone calls. And so I texted the picture, I let them know he had arrived, and also included in that we were taking a few days to get ourselves settled, and we would send out an invite when we were ready to have people over. My husband and I got our son home after those few days in the hospital. We took that time to just settle in and go, okay, so this happened, like we have a baby now, and what's this new dynamic that we have? So it was 4 days later that we invited people over to our home, and it was only key people, and so very close family members. We didn't go showing them off to extended family and to friends quite yet. And so, with that in mind, I just want you to know that whatever you want, whatever you need, it's okay. It's a good and healthy thing, and just run with that. Don't feel pressured to follow a family tradition or to do things another person's way, especially if you have a more aggressive family member who's trying to pull the I'm the brother, I'm the sister, so I'm the aunt or the uncle, I'm the parents, so therefore I'm the grandparents. Nobody cares. They have no rights when it comes to your child. Whatever social card they might try to play for why they should be able to meet the baby, hold the baby, anything on their timeline, crumple that up and throw it away. They have no rights. You are mom, you are dad, you set the boundaries and you set the timeline. And so one last thing I'll let you know, especially for moms, and maybe to explain it for dads if you're like, why is she behaving like that? You've had a baby in your tummy that you have been protecting and caring for a very long period of time. You, during childbirth, have pumped out a massive amount of oxytocin, which is a bonding hormone. And now when people show up and want to hold your baby, you might actually have a very intense reaction of, I don't want you holding my child. Even if you love them and you want to share them, there's this weird sense of distance, even though your kid is maybe 4 feet away from you. If you want to introduce your baby, but you don't want to pass them around like playing hot potato, you don't have to. If somebody says, I would love to hold them. No, it's okay. I don't care who they are. Grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, like nobody has any rights here. You don't have to hand your child off to somebody that you're not comfortable with. You don't have to hand your kid off to somebody who's not in a fit state to hold your baby. You can wait until you're better. Why are you even here? Could you please go home? This is your space. Protect it. And it's okay to stand up for your family. This is something new that you're figuring out. And so this is your place to decide this is what it's going to look like, and other people need to respect that. So last thing, just if you come across any more aggressive family members who are not respecting that, and you don't feel comfortable addressing it, get help. There are other people who will speak up on your behalf and deal with that person so that you don't have to. So the overbearing grandmother or like whoever it is, somebody else can usher them out of the room. Don't be afraid to designate a trusted person as your baby bodyguard. There are any number of people that love you so much and would love to help create that safe space for you. So having said that, there it is. I hope that's helpful for you. If you have any other thoughts on or stories about, just that initial period, trying to figure out who to introduce or not introduce your baby to, the timeline, did you have to find a way to deal with an aggressive family member? Share that in the comments. I would love to hear more about that. And if this video was interesting or helpful, please like, share with other people, and I'm trying to reach 2,000 subscribers. So just if you haven't hit subscribe yet, the button's just down at the bottom of the screen here. And I hope this video was helpful for you and that you have an awesome day. All the best. Bye.